We got to talk about the PGA Championship, which was fairly eventful. Yeah, just a little bit. The Weekend Golf Rewind is presented by Lynch Golf Sales at Pine Creek. If you're not being fit outdoors, you're not being fit. And now Jeff Hathhorn joins us. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, guys. You know, it's that moniker that gets passed from golfer to golfer, the best player to never win a major. Well, it gets moved on now after Xander Schauffele wins the PGA Championship with a birdie on 18 that just slipped in. Schauffele said it was about staying in his lane, and it was just enough to beat one of the stars of the LIV Tour, Bryson DeChambeau, shot 64 on Sunday. Victor Hovland finished third at 18 under. Colin Morikawa was 15 under. He had a share of the lead to start the day. Shane Lowry had a 62 on Saturday, finished sixth. Scottie Scheffler, no more arrests. Eventful week. He blew up on Saturday but came back to finish eighth. Rory McIlroy was 12th at 12 under. Schauffele is only 30 years old. He has now won $46 million in his career. He recorded the lowest 72-hole score in a major championship. And now an American, USA, has won the PGA Championship 9 straight years.
Wow.
So now the best player to never won a major is Joe Starkey.
I heard he was lying about his handicap, too, this Starkey.
Of course.
According to Chris Muller. Well, thank you very much, Jeff.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow for OTA Day.
Yes, OTA Day. Will Cam Hayward be there? Doesn't sound like it. Thank you, brother.
Might be golfing. See you guys.
Jeff Hathhorn, our sports director. Buddy, you missed a hell of a Friday.
So I hear.
I didn't know what to do apart from just try to report the news. You know, Scottie Scheffler gets arrested. He's in a jumpsuit. He gets booked. He gets charged with 4 different crimes. He makes his tee time at 10:08. He birdies the first hole. All right, so of all the things to talk about from the PGA Championship, where do you want to start? Where do you want to go with Xander Schauffele and his wonderful victory, finally getting a major, or you got anything to say about Scottie friggin' Scheffler?
Scottie Scheffler, I think I saw a quote of him. He said, I was watching the show Get Up from my jail cell, them talking about me being arrested, and then I obviously get released, and I make my tee time. Like, obviously a big misunderstanding. From what I hear is that there's like a marker on the tour players' cars that shows that they need to get to a certain place, and there's, they have different restrictions that aren't really on them. And there was a police officer or officers that were on a crime scene or on a scene that somebody, I guess, was in a car accident, and it wasn't a part of the police officers that were a part of the PGA Tour, and they said, no, you can't go this way. And Scottie was like, well, I got to go to my event. And they said no, and there's altercation. So from what I hear, it's going to get dropped as it should. But that was a crazy situation. I thought it was fake. When I saw his mugshot, I was like, oh, who's messing around? And it was real.
It was dark, too, and there's lights flashing. And I think Scottie probably thought, and he doesn't need my help, he's got high-priced attorneys, but I'm sure Scheffler thought this is just regular Valhalla traffic for people to try to come in and watch the golf event. Mm-hmm. And then for him to birdie, and then for him to go 6 under yesterday,
just
with all that on his mind.
Ice.
It's ice, man. It's absurd. And you do feel good for Xander Schauffele. Was I rooting for Bryson DeChambeau? Maybe.
Why?
Maybe I was. I like the cut of his jib.
Did you see the one video of him whenever he was walking to the one hole? He threw his ball that he just birdied to a kid, and it got intercepted by an adult. And he stopped in his tracks. Like, this is during the round. Stopped in his tracks. Was like, yo, and pointed his club at the guy. Was like, give that ball to the kid.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You bleep, 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 probably.
I love that.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It made me like him 1,000 times more.
I'm with you on that. And you're watching him on the driving range. Watch as Schauffele's trying to win the major. And he was cool as a cucumber. He's looking up at shots, and then he'd go down, tee the ball up, and he'd hit the ball. And I do feel good for Schauffele, though, man.
Yeah, he's a good, really, really good golfer, and he's always there. Like, if you want to, if you want to tell who are the top golfers, and Scottie Scheffler is one of the best. He wins a lot, but you see where guys are at on Thursday. You see where guys are at on Friday, but it's usually the same damn guys that are there on Sunday.
Yep,
in the top 10, and Schauffele is one of those guys. And it was just a matter of time for him to go out there and win something that big. I mean, $46 million, that's insane.
That it actually hurts me just to hear a number like that for a guy who hadn't won a major. And when he sinks that putt, which I'm sure that thing went around the rim for him for like a minute and a half.
Yes.
Like when he put his arms in the air, did I get emotional? No. Did I get chills? And then whenever he talked to his wife and she's saying she's so proud of him, I got chills, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because you work your tail off and you finally do the thing you've always dreamed about doing. To see him be able to finish it with that clutch birdie putt. And he goes up and down, too. Like, he did not have the ideal tee shot on the final hole. For him to be able to get it done, you could just feel the catharsis. He probably felt like he's light as a feather after that, man.
If that were me and I won that I won that event, there would have been a little part of my mind to say, thank the Lord that Scottie Scheffler got arrested, because that just threw him off just enough for him not to be in contention for that spot. I'm being dead serious. If he didn't get arrested and didn't have to go through all that, and the way he came back, what would we have done if he would just had a normal round? He probably would have won it.
Even still, Scheffler was 12th when he got arrested going into Tuesday or Friday. Excuse me. I don't know why I got my days confused like that. And he finished 8th, so he climbed up the leaderboard.
Think about it.
If I'm Scheifele too, I would have. I don't think I'd be awake right now. Definitely wouldn't be awake. I would have partied my face off all last night.
Yes.
Party of the life, man.
Yes.
And like you could see whenever he's hugging all his buddies, he hugs his caddy, who was his collegiate teammate. So, you know, those guys are super, super close. The happiness that all of his entourage had viscerally for him was super cool to see. I love those moments in sports, man. You do the thing. Like when... Everybody, don't kill me on this, but even when Ovechkin lifted the cup, I went, all right.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'd been the guy. Mm-hmm. He'd been the guy that couldn't. When Peyton Manning won it, he was the guy who couldn't. When Elway won it, he was the guy who couldn't. And then you do, it's pretty cool to watch.
But doesn't that just say how hard golf really is? I mean, it came down to literally a split second of a ball rolling halfway around the cup for him to win. Like, that is how hard. Like, you talk about a game of inches in football. It's a game of millimeters in golf.
Yes. And I'm not, you've seen me play. I'm not the biggest golf expert. I feel like he crushed that thing, that putt. If he'd have put a little bit more yoke in that thing's bouncing way out.
Well, if you do remember, the announcers did say that he was talking, I believe it was him, he was talking to his caddy, and they said, be aggressive. So that's why he had some steam on it, because he was listening to his coach. The caddies were like, be aggressive with the putt.
I thought he missed it. I thought it was going to pop out. And I think the crowd was pulling for Bryson from like what I read on Twitter from like the people on the ground. Like people were pulling for Bryson, but he did get the rousing ovation whenever he drilled it. Just an awesome sight.
Awesome.
Really cool.